Hey everybody, this is a video that I should have made about 3 weeks ago, but I keep fucking forgetting. This is to address the whole Donald Trump situation, and I want to give a different opinion on this that maybe some others have given. I don't know, I haven't heard them, so if I haven't heard them and someone else has come up with this, great. I'm sure they have. But doesn't the Donald Trump presidency feel like it's being driven by MSNBC and NBC in general? And we all know why NBC would do this, because of course, Donald Trump has a show which he's on hiatus from, or they've suspended him from, or whatever they do with this, whatever fake bullshit media nonsense they're doing with it. The Apprentice. Now, Donald Trump's presidency being pushed primarily by NBC, MSNBC, CNBC, their cable subsidiaries. I was talking to a commenter today. I don't know if he's a subscriber, but he was a commenter on one of my videos. And I was talking to him about this today, about how Trump is playing the whole populist card. And I always wonder how these rich kids, because that's what Donald Trump is. Donald Trump is a rich kid. He got his money from his dad and then made money in real estate in New York. Who can't make money in real estate in fucking New York City? I mean, Jesus Christ. A kid with Down syndrome, if he was given $1 million, could make money in New York real estate. But anyway, Donald Trump is playing the whole populist card, and I'm always curious how these rich kids play the populist cards, how they convince everyone that they're Eugene fucking Debs. You know, how they convince people that they're for the working man and woman. They exploit the working man and woman every chance they get. Donald Trump is playing on the good old populism card, the good old angst of the people. And it's being heavily driven by NBC. And NBC can stand to make millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars on advertising when The Apprentice inevitably comes back. Can you imagine the first episode of The Apprentice after all this is over in a year? I mean, Donald Trump will be even more famous. Everyone will tune in. They'll see what's going on. And the first show will be 30 million, 40 million people watching. And in a time where in television, the only thing that people are watching in mass numbers on television is football. And basketball last season started to see slightly turn, but nothing like football. Nothing is anything like football. It's even more imperative that you could promote one show and create such a buzz simply by giving him attention for running for president. And that's what NBC is doing. I believe this whole Donald Trump thing, is it a conspiracy? I think Donald Trump's ego is so large that you wouldn't need to have a conspiracy to get him to run for president. He likes the attention. But because he's so insecure, because he knows that he's a fraud. So, I mean, deep down inside, he knows that he's accomplished nothing in his life. He knows that he's a complete phony. Everything is outwards. It's completely superficial and shallow. Remember, this guy bankrupted a casino. Just remember that shit, homies and homettes. This motherfucker bankrupted a casino. So when you start thinking about what a good businessman he is and the art of the deal and all that bullshit, remember that he got his money from his daddy and he made money in New York and New Jersey real estate. The guy's a fucking fraud. He's just bullshit. He's just facade. And NBC, MSNBC is helping that along nicely. They've created this beautiful Donald Trump straw man, and now everybody can go attack and talk about his stance on immigration and his stance on this and how he thinks this and how he wants to do this and do that. And it's completely manufactured by MSNBC and NBC. If he didn't have a show on a network television show that was the number 2 cable news overall television news station in America, would he be getting this much attention? Of course not. But NBC runs out there. I get NBC alerts on one of my email addresses, and it's Donald Trump making a speech. Donald Trump, Donald Trump. So I think before you start to look at Donald Trump as anything more, and by the way, I don't think anybody serious looks at Donald Trump as a threat or anything realistic. I mean, he would be the worst type of puppet because he's the transparent puppet. And he's got so many. I mean, we all know how the presidency works for conspiracy theorists. They're not elected; they're selected. And Donald Trump is just a figurehead to get the Republicans get more attention. And I think it's being driven by NBC. And I think NBC has visions for a year from now when they have 30 million, 40 million people tuning into the first new episode of The Apprentice. So keep that in mind. Thank you for listening very much, and have a wonderful day.